Hey guys, so we're going to talk about a movie I saw last night before I have to hit the sack, and it's a movie that has a cult following, but it's not very well known. It kind of came out of the superhero slash star epic era of the year 1980 really. You know, you had the last Star Wars, Superman, and it's of course Flash Gordon. Yeah, it's maybe a little bit famous because of the song from Queen. There's been a commercial recently that has that song. Flash Gordon, if you don't know, is started out as a comic strip, if I understand it right, and got featured in just about all kinds of media, starting in I believe in the 1920s or 30s, and it ran till basically it's been ongoing in different formats. There has been attempts at live action shows, cartoon shows, radio channel shows, all kinds of stuff. There's been references to it throughout time since its creation. One of the things that it focuses on, or one of the major aspects of the show and the movie, the 1980s movie, which is probably the most famous modern adaptation besides the actual comic books, or novels, if you want to think about it in that sense. Oh, sorry, totally zoned out. One of the major aspects is the taking of animals and humans and kind of combining them and making them into hybrids. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if you're familiar with the series, there's the Hawk people, the Hawk men, and they're basically men with wings. There's Lion men. All these different clans have different names. There's people that live in the sea. A lot of what later became kind of second-tier superheroes, like if you were going to take the Justice League, you'd have Superman as top tier, Batman, is top tier, and then you'd have Aquaman, second tier, Hawkman, I guess, or Birdman, second tier. You follow what I'm saying? A lot of secondary characters were not created, but given an American interpretation in this series. Of course, the evil villain is Ming, which is kind of an odd villain, its name. They tried to change Ming because it was viewed as racist. In the last attempt of a TV series, most recent attempt, which was in, I think 2008 or 07 or 08, I think it ran that long. It is largely regarded as the worst series of all time. Well, not of all time, but it's considered a very bad series. And if you've ever seen, especially episode 3, words cannot describe. In a way, it's beautiful. It's like watching a car crash. You just don't want to turn away. But having said that, there's so many different interpretations, so many different aspects and retellings of the same story that, in many ways, it's kind of usually it's a glossed over kind of series. It doesn't really get popular. It doesn't really get as big as Superman or Batman, but it's a series that deserves some looking into because of the timeless plot. The whole storyline is very intriguing, and in a lot of ways it offers possibilities that are lacking in other series because it deals with so many different planets and so many different worlds and planets, worlds, what the fuck am I saying? I'm saying the exact same thing. But, it deals with so many different kinds of people, lion guy, lion man, I guess, lion men, lion people, lion human beings. I don't know what you want to call them, but they're lions and they're people. You don't usually see that anywhere else. So it's kind of an interesting series. Now, what else about the show? One other interesting fact that some people don't know is in the 1980s movie, Flash Gordon's character, it plays football for the Jets, but actually, if I remember correctly, in the original serial, they I actually had him like play not rugby, what's it called? Polo. And the reason why his actual name is not Flash, that's his nickname, which is random, just random information at this point. If you do not know what I'm talking about, you should definitely look it up. It's fairly easy to find some aspect of it. Some of the old they used to show little short movie kind of things before a movie came out, like every week. Like, for example, if you showed up at a Harry Potter movie in modern times, instead of seeing a bunch of commercials for, you know, another movie, well, you'd see a few of them, and then you go to a short reel about, you know, Flash Gordon and, you know, his adventures. He'd go to, like, planet Mars or whatever, and he'd run into some people. And these things became famous because always at the end, the hero was, like, almost certainly dead. Like, probably the most famous one is in one of them they have, this is not Flash Gordon at all, but there's a reel where they show this plane and it's like 2 inches from the ground and they stop the frame and they say tune in next week, and then if you go next week it like pulls up, and it's, anyway, it's an interesting aspect of movie history that I kind of wish that they still had those, to be honest. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off topic here. I'm talking about stuff that isn't Flash Gordon related. What else about Flash Gordon? Do I have anything else to say? Yeah, the movie, the 1980s movie, is definitely a good intro into the series if you're looking for a modern interpretation. I mean, I know people that are real hard fans will say, no, that's not the case. But it's easier to find than most other ones. And it's a pretty good... Not a very serious movie. It's kind of hokey, but it kind of is a good introduction to the overall series if you're older. If you're younger and you're into comics, check out the comics. If you're older and you want to relive the past, you can watch the old reels that they got on YouTube. You can go on YouTube. It's instant. But basically what I'm saying is that there's really something for everybody when it comes to the series. In my opinion. I mean, I might be wrong. If you're not into, you know, space adventures, this is probably not your trip. You know, and if you're not into some, like, superhero kind of thing, then this probably isn't yours either. But it's kind of a... I don't really like superhero movies, and I don't really like movies dealing with space in general, except for a couple of them. So it's a very good series for me. I don't know, it kind of breaks the rule, so I think it deserves some more, it deserves more attention. Anyway, I've dragged this on long enough. Subscribe, comment, rate, check out the movie. I give it, I guess I should rate it, for an action movie, for what it is, in comparison to a superhero movie, I'd say that I give it a 4 out of 5. You know, I mean, it's kind of hokey, you know, but otherwise it's a good movie. I mean, in part of it that kind of makes it too. Anyway, that's it. Bye.